Hello, and welcome to the November Koa reading for approximately the next 30 days ahead. I'm using the Dust to Onyx Tarot by Courtney Alexander, and I have not flipped the cards yet, but I pulled them. So let's see who's coming. Whoa. Okay. Swords and the Sun. In our concern position, which is the first position of the 3-card spread for Koa, the concern is sort of what is objectively going on in the atmosphere, what's the energy that we can pick up on. And Papa Blade, otherwise I believe known, excuse my broken nail, Papa Blade, otherwise known as the King of Swords, apex of integrity, the arch defender of truth, he who hath integrity, and that which hath integrity in its extension, because I don't mind gendering the cards simply because they're androgynous cards, in my opinion. And there are masculine cards and there are feminine cards, and that energy comes up in everyone. But if it is embodied in a masculine energy in terms of the King of Blades, I don't mind that. And so I see this as the masculine energy in all of us, the extensive energy, the active energy needing to be in alignment, and I think finding ourselves sort of surprised in a way with the with our ability to witness, see, speak, do, know what happened, right? Because the apex of integrity is also saying this is this and that is that and this and that is that. It's a form of tracking. And it's not necessarily linear, right? Because when we can have integrity in whatever we talk about, at whatever period we talk about it, so long as we are connected to it enough to remember it as it was, in consensus. And obviously the experience is different for everyone, but in terms of the concern, which is even the position of this card, it's like, but what was the thing that happened? So the thing that happened here is that, like, we are who we are. We happened. We are ourselves. We are existing. And so we're going into holiday time, going into seasons that for people in power, particularly Trump and other people like this, will, be grossly abused. These holidays and what they represent are going to be grossly misrepresented in the news and by the media, and we will be dealing with a lot of just like grotesque, as we have continued to deal with grotesque abuse. But I mean, this is where Papa Blade thrives, and lives, to maintain the integrity throughout, regardless. If everything has integrity, you don't need a Papa Blade. Everybody's a Papa Blade. Okay, so if we need Papa Blade in this situation, because we need to be that voice, that resilient truth, that kernel, that silver lining, that willingness to give inklings more than other people will, and to see further than them as you are and do, and to allow that to be acknowledgeable and true along with their truth. Meaning, you don't say the truth to get a particular result. You say the truth because it is what it is, and it deserves acknowledgement just like everything else. So here we find ourselves having integrity just because, and not for any other reason. Because, but it's a practice. So then we move into the opportunity or the obstacle card, which I typically think of as the thing outside of us that we can perceive as either a blockade or a stepping stone, depending on whether we are leaning towards positively polarized thoughts or negatively polarized thoughts. Whereas if we have neutral thoughts, then we are available to whatever our next card talks about, which is our character, will predispose us to do. And that also includes having, like, neutrality is also a spectrum, right? So there's like neutrality, which is like true equilibrium, dynamism, where you are in the center of yourself and you are available for everything. And then there's the type of neutrality that is someone trying to evade making any decisive acts or decisions, even though that in itself is a decisive act and a decision, but it's choosing indecision to make a decision. So it's sort of like fumbling the ball or like the Fool reversed in that energy. So card number 2 is Two of Blades. We're still in the blades. So the Two of Blades here is speaking to me of, I mean, we're back in the integrity and equilibrium. We're back in the giving to each thing only what it deserves, which I call ruthlessness. Giving to each thing only what it deserves, and letting that be okay. I think that in a capitalist society, we just learn that excess is security and that means that people think they need more than they need. So we have hoarding and we have unsustainable practices, and we don't pay attention to natural cycles, and we don't allow things to come and go as they please, right? So Two of Blades in the opportunity obstacle state is like, go with what actually is already showing you it's available or that it isn't, because then you're in, because I don't know if I've said this before in these videos, but I think of equilibrium, what people call balance. To me, I have not used in a long time, because I think balance is associated with a middle point along a linear plane, and I think equilibrium is much more like being at the center of an elliptical, like the way that we go around our sun, in an elliptical manner, and meaning like an off circle. It's like an ovally type of shape, and or the way that a dreidel spins, and how it must be. It depends on the context of where it's spinning for it to find its balance. If it's on a hill or an incline, or if it's somewhere with dips, the circumference requires different things, which is also just saying location is a quality of a thing. Change the location and you change the thing. So I think that this is saying that as existence shows you who is and is not able to show up for you, your real I was gonna say your reality, but your like real existence, then live and let live. We shouldn't have to insist that certain people are in our lives. The agreements that past versions of people made with future versions of people are null and void. I mean, every moment is new, and that doesn't mean that there aren't repercussions and like after effects of decisions that are made if we do not have consistency, or we don't have integrity, or we don't have clarity of intention. But that's what the Two of Blades is all about. It's about walking the talk of the intent, walking the talk of the integrity, and just returning to the practice. Before enlightenment, chopping wood, carrying water. After enlightenment, chopping wood, carrying water. Basically, do the work. Continue to do the work. Be yourself with no expectations of the outcome, simply for the joy of being yourself and for the integrity of that. And see what happens. See who is attracted. See who is repelled. See what is engaged by the beingness, the authentic beingness of your existence. And then last but not least, we have what I was saying was the character card, your disposition. It is the advantage or the aversion card. It's what within you is either, what about your character is going to help or hinder you in the practice of the first two things, which is so perfect, because this is tea, by the way, matcha tea. Because we have, my focus is so like out of it. Anyways, it's the sun, okay? I'm trying to give you, there we go. It's the sun, which I love as a woman in this deck. The sun is so often depicted as like a young virile boy or like a man, and we get it, right? It means willpower, it means strength, but it also means joy. It means full capacity. It means 100% occupancy, right? It's like, I'm taking up all of me. I am in a healthy ego because I'm not overstepping and I am not understepping my boundaries. I am being Billie Holiday, all of me. Why not take all of me? Can't you see? I'm good without you, but all of me, right? So what is going to help or hinder us in our integrity? The sun, our willpower, our ego, right? But this is major arcana. I mean, spiritual practice, life purpose. So it's like, will you let yourself exist? Will you let yourself exist in the solar system that is actually applicable to your orbit? I love how these words come out. Meaning, will you be like our sun? Because our sun has to be itself so that Earth can do its rotation, and Mercury and Mars and Venus and Jupiter and everything is just so. So if you are yourself, then everything in your solar system is able to relate to you as itself. But if the sun doesn't occupy its space and it goes off and decides to do other people's jobs, then the sun is in a situation where not everybody cannot be integrity towards it, because it is not holding it's not holding the space that allows for an authentic or reliable or fluid rotation. It's doing more of chaos energy stuff, which is not inhabiting what it is. The sun must be what it is. It is at full occupancy. It is at 100% capacity. It is intense, but its intensity is authentic and it's genuine. And so I think this is also just precaution on the negative ego to make sure that, like, you're not overselling yourself. You don't have to sell yourself. You're co-signed by existence. Your relevance is spoken for. So if you find yourself begging or over explaining or defending something too often, this is usually an indication of us being in our negative ego, which might be a reflection of what's coming to us, right? But the point is not to go down to the state of the person who is coming with less integrity. The point is to maintain your integrity in the face of everyone and everything, and maintaining the state you prefer, even if they bring you something otherwise, because if you're of the higher frequency and they're of the lower frequency, then only two things can happen. Either they must come up or you must come down. And sometimes if they work hard to come up, you can do your part and come here, and then we can find this is the equilibrium, right? The straddle creates this is where the plane happens, and then we can find a point of balance. But there's no reason it can't be on an incline, by the way. However, if this is where this person is staying and you will not keep this energy and you go down here, then that's the reflection that you're going to be getting. So you need to maintain the state that you prefer, maintain the integrity that you prefer, and hold that just for the sake of it, for the feeling, for the being of it, because it is what it is, and that's why do anything else than what is relevant. And then see what happens, and trust that existence will have your back. But also the sun here is just like, look at people boasting, over-explaining, overreaching, overextending, or underextending, because shame is as egotistical as hubris. It's like, oh, I'm the worst, and existence shouldn't made, and it's infinite, and it is efficient, and it makes no mistakes, but it made a mistake with me. It shouldn't have made me. So woe is me, for I am the one thing in existence which should not have been made. Okay? That shit is as motherfucking egotistical as someone being like, I'm the best motherfucker in the universe. Clearly, it broke the mold when it made me and not anybody else. Okay? This is the opposite poles of the same spectrum. So sun is about positive ego, neutrality. Positive neutrality is treating everything as the first time you've met it. Not that it can't be familiar with something, but that you know that no moment is the same, and so every moment is different, and so every engagement is different, and every moment can be changed. In every moment, you can be changed. In every moment, you can be changed. In every moment, you can be changed. You get the point? Thanks for being here. I'll see you guys in December 2019, and then it's the year 2020. Clear vision, hindsight, Harriet Tubman, and I'm out. Bye.